putting down as much power as a guy like me is. You gotta be careful about stuff like that. In case you too have a couple of pig dogs that would actually eat nuts and bolts. Went to clip in with these brand new clips. Boom. Good morning, Trainiacs. After 2 races of racing tries in my road cycling shoes, which is a real pain because there's all these straps and a tongue that get in the way when you're trying to get into your shoes in transition. It's time that I switched over the cleats from my triathlon shoes to match these. And the reason that I was using these instead of these is because the cleats on these shoes are made for my PowerTap P1 power pedals. These are made for my old SPD Shimano pedals. And apparently they do work a fair bit, but there's quite a bit of float. That when you move your foot side to side, there's a lot of float, and there's a good chance that my foot could have slipped out. And when you're putting down as much power as a guy like me is, you gotta be careful about stuff like that. So I just bit the bullet and accepted that I was gonna lose, I don't know, 10 to 20 seconds in transition. Not anymore, because today we're gonna switch these cleats over to these cleats. And I'm gonna tell you how. Things that you need are cleats with a cleat plate and little bolts for it. You need your old shoes. You need a set of Allen keys, and you need some Sharpie markers. So one thing you want to make sure of is that you're getting your new cleats in the same spot as the old cleats. And how you do that is by marking where the old cleats are on the shoe. I'm using this gold Sharpie marker, but I've used black before. We're going to try this and see if it shows up a little bit better. This is really important to do, especially if you've gone through a bike fit, because they're going to be placing your cleats in a spot that allows your knee natural movement within your body's natural range of motion. And if you're going outside of that typical range of motion, with your new cleats, by having a different placement, you could be causing some knee problems because your knee and your leg will be tracking in a way that isn't natural for it. It could be causing problems coming all the way up from your ankle to your knee to your hip and your lower back. You have 3 contact points with your body on the bike. Some are your hands, then your butt, and then the third is your feet. And if any one of those 3 contact points is out, you have the good potential of developing pain. So getting a proper bike fit is very critical, and then following everything that was set up in that proper bike fit with future gear tweaks is even more critical. Now we've got this all laid out, open up the new set of cleats and line up how close they are to the old set of cleats while the shoe is still on. So if you've got to make any adjustments, you know where the old placement is. What I'm looking for here is if I can line this up in a close enough spot to where the old line is going to be. And no, not really. So what you can see is that the new cleats are a little bit smaller than the old cleats. So if I lined this top part up with that top part, I would be too far forward. So now knowing this, I know that I'm gonna have to move the new cleats back a little bit from that line that we drew with the Sharpie marker. But if I make it symmetrical on this side and that side, at least I'll get the side to side like knee tracking that forward and how the knee is tracking in that plane kind of motion correct. At least we hope so. Now we select the Allen key that fits with these shoes and we take everything off. Okay, now that we got some freshly cleaned up shoes, make sure that there's no major pieces of dirt on that are gonna stop the cleat from fitting flushly. Take out our hardware. Make sure that you have no old screws on the floor in case you too have a couple of pig dogs that would actually eat nuts and bolts. Not the delicious food. And what I'm looking to do is see about where I can line this up that, oh, okay, once we get this on here, looking to see about where I can line it up in line with that line that we drew with the Sharpie. And it looks like if I go basically as far forward as I can with the holes, you can see that they're way down at the bottom there, and then I make it equidistant on this side and this side, then I should be fairly close. Take a washer, take a screw. I always like to do the front hole first so that gets secured. Keep it nice and loose so then it's not going anywhere, but then we can still move it forward and go a little bit side to side. So now with it still being fairly loose, this is where the fine tuning comes in. Start lining it up as equally as you can to where the old lines were. Unfortunately, that's about as far forward as I'm going to be able to get it, so I'm still going to have some gap here and there, but then I want to make sure that I'm lined up straight here and here, and it looks like I need to go a little bit further over. Then once you've got it nice and tight, tighten everything equally, because if you tighten down one side on its own, you're going to be twisting everything. So you do little twists all around until you're nice and tight everywhere. Now that should get us fairly close to where we want to be, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for a little bit of a ride after doing the other shoe, take the Allen key, and if there's anything that feels like it's tracking this way or up and down or side to side in a different way, I'll do a little bit of a tweak with the Allen key. And if you ever experience more pain in the few days after riding when you've replaced your cleats, go back to your bike shop, see if they can tweak it for you. And bike shops that are smart tend to be fairly smart. Duh. They'll probably tweak it up for you if you've done a fit with them before. Next shoe. Maybe the worst decision ever, Trainiacs. Okay, so first thing, new Rudy Project Boost 01 helmet, very comfortable. Feels a little heavier than my road helmet, but that's normal for aero helmets. Second thing, if you've been around for a few days, you know that we are in Taren's Man Flu 2017 world-ending crisis. And I should not have gone for that bike ride. It was just 20 minutes, but I was a little out of it. Actually, yesterday at 2 p.m., I took a Gravol, went down for a nap, woke up this morning at 6 a.m., edited the vlog, went back down for another 2-hour nap. So I'm a little beat, and I'm not quite all there up here. Went to clip in with these brand new clips, boom, fell down, and my twig and berries fell on the top tube. Right in the middle of a busy intersection. I'm not gonna lie to you, a lot of people saw that happen. Last thing, they worked. Good to go. To finish off the process, put your Allen key back, and if you're me, you go back to bed. The things I do. The things I do for you. Later, Trainiacs.